Okay, Mitsubishi Colt with the airbag code 22 DABSQ222. Okay, we are going to look into this and see what we find. This is an 04. What I've done at the moment is I've just taken the covers off here and I have unplugged the clock spring here. Okay, and I don't get a new code. Okay, so I have found some information that indicates this code may be a problem with the clock spring. Okay, and by unplugging it I don't get a new code, so that at the moment is the direction we're looking down. Airbag is out. Okay, so now it is safe for us to check resistances in this clock spring. You don't want to do that with the complete circuit with the airbag in, because of course an ohm meter will induce a small voltage and there is a risk that you could set the airbag off. Won't necessarily happen, but that is a risk. So we take the airbag out and we're going to check from one side of the clock spring to the other on each wire. Okay, so just back probing our wires here. So airbag is out and we're disconnected at this end as well. Okay, so I tried this red yellow, so the terminal that plugs into, through to the red yellow, and that was fine, had continuity. And now this yellow with the blue trace is open circuited. Okay, I don't have enough hands to hold the camera and both ends of the multimeter at the same time, but that's what it reads, open circuit. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is just see if we have another connection between this point and the actual clock spring itself. See that? If you just flick that cap off and opened it up. Okay, so still no continuity on that blue wire, and what I've actually found is that we have a crossover between the terminal that should be feeding this yellow blue wire and it is also feeding into the yellow red, so we've actually got a short in there as well. Okay, so it looks like we're getting a clock spring. Okay, battery disconnected, just the earth terminal tucked down there so it can't flick up and reconnect itself. There are two Torx bolts in the side. See the hole down in here. Okay, and they are T30. Okay, so I've already started loosening these off. Just got to undo them now. Cool, and then it just pulls forward. So you need to leave that battery disconnected for a good sort of 5-10 minutes before you start doing any work. Okay, and then this plug, I'm going to slide that back. Try not to drop the airbag. Cool, and then these I like to just store them on the passenger floor, so if anything happens to it, it's just going to blow itself up under the dash. Cool, steering wheel nice and straight. Need to undo this bolt. Cool, so that nut off, just going to mark where our steering wheel is going to go. So we put it back in the same place, and then nut back on. I'm going to pull that off. Cool. Then I'm just going to check my turns each way on this clock spring. In a bit, so go back to there. 1, 2, 3, that should be centered. 2, 3, a little bit. 3, that's back to centre. Okay, the reason I checked that is I did have one once where it was actually not set in the centre. Okay, so the new one had to go on off centre, but most stuff is just centred like that. Cool. Undo the screws under here and take these covers off. Cool. And then we've already got our plug undone under here. We undid in our testing. Screw here, screw here. Cool. So you just need to match it up, make sure it's all the same. We've got all this off our one. They normally have a clip, something like this, to keep it in the centre. Right. Well, it's packaged, but I like to also check that it's in the centre. So I can just pull that out. I'm just going to count my turns again. 1, 2, 3, and a quarter. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. I should have 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3. So go back to our centre. 1, 2, 3. Cool. And you can go on there. We need to line up our little lugs in here. Clip him on. Okay, and screws back in. Cool. So we have double checked our centre there. Now the steering wheel can go back on. Connect our horn wire there and put him back into his clip. Cool, I can put my plugs in the back here. Alright, and then I can put my covers back on round here, and we'll just run up this centre nut. That's not our final tightening because we're going to make sure the steering wheel is straight. Okay, so now we're back at this stage, covers back on. I can reconnect my battery. I'm just going to leave the airbag out for now. I'm going to go for a drive down the road and just make sure when I'm driving straight, the steering wheel is sitting straight before I carry on and put the airbag back in. We've been for a drive. Steering wheel is straight when we're going straight down the road. If it wasn't, of course, you'd have to pull it off and adjust it, which is why we leave the airbag out initially. Okay, battery has been redisconnected and left to wait again. And we have torqued our nut up here now to 41 Newton meters, which is the spec for it according to auto data on this Mitsubishi Colt. Okay, so now with our battery disconnected again, we're ready to reinstall our airbag. Okay, so plug it in first. Just check where your bolts are sitting. So you can see in here, this bolt is sitting up. It's going to be in the way, so I'm just going to wriggle them around, get them to sit back down like that, and then we can slot this back in. Okay, that's in place, and then I just need to tighten up my 2 Torx bolts again on the side. So battery reconnected now, everything's back in place, and our SRS light is gone out. Okay, but of course we're going to scan this and make sure that the code is not stored in the history as well. Okay, but code 22 for the airbag in a Mitsubishi Colt, that's what it is, it's actually the clock spring. Okay, so that is covered how to test it, how to replace it. Hope this helps you out. Okay, so the other thing we want to do is just turn the steering full lock left, full lock to the right. Okay, and that's just going to make sure that that clock spring is going to be good, it's all centered where it should be, and we'll also drive it down the road. Cool. Ignore that, that's just been scanned, so I'm still scanning over here, so that's why it's just bringing up the ABS light here and there.